we now have an AP News alert out of Pittsburgh.
They have received information of another plane hijacking.
Officials at Somerset County Airport are confirming the crash of a large plane just north of the airport.
We have the first shots of that airplane that crashed shortly after the two planes crashed into the World Trade Tower.
The plane actually came from behind the cruiser here.
I was right here at this window getting coal in.
It's Roxanne. She says, you need to go home. You need to go home right now.
And I saw the plane coming in and came from the north.
She says, there's a plane down near your home.
The plane just banked and did a 45 and went into the ground.
This whole sky filled up with really black smoke.
And I turned in here to Lambertsville, and they stopped me right at Lambertsville, and I started crying. They said, you can't go home. I said, the plane came down on Skyline Road. You can't go home. I said, do I have a home? And they said, we don't know.
The memorial began when people came as far as they could to see the crash site. They left tributes, their feelings, their expressions of how they felt.
We wanted our children to see it. The fact that so many people have found their way here says more than anything about how much we all respect and remember the courage of the people on Flight 93.
My dad wanted to tell us a little bit more about how the plane crashed in Pennsylvania.
It's just important to recognize that, and this obviously shows the true American spirit.
A lot of lives that were saved just by the sacrifice of the few that were on the plane.
I marvel at their skills and thoughtfulness, and to be able to act in such haste to do something worthwhile. And I really feel for their families.
I'm Deputy Sheriff with Somerset County. They have us scheduled out here 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
I'm John Sage. I'm a fire chief.
Most of what we do is just public relations, like what I'm doing with you here now, just talking with you, explaining to people where the crash site and the memorial is. And you can see the tree line there. The tree line looks like it's missing a lot of branches in that one area it's burned out. It happened about 150 feet in front of it. Even if you get down there, it's more like a straight-on shot. You can't see much with the grass. Your best vantage point is from up here, you know, to see anything. Those people were heroes in more ways than one. I mean, if the plane would have made it a few more seconds past the tree line, there's a small town in Shanksville. Shanksville, which, you know, is on the map, everybody looks and says, Shanksville where? But there's a high school there. That day, there was 480 students and faculty in that school.
That day, they had to make a split-second decision that cost them their lives and saved so many others.
I feel that they fell so close to my house. You know, it's really in my backyard here, and I feel the need to take care of them and their things and let the world know that people care about them.
What we do here at the Somerset Historical Center is collect the items that have been left at the memorial, and then the items are brought here to be cleaned and cataloged and stored for the permanent memorial. Other things like a POW bracelet from the Vietnam War. This was to Sergeant Eugene Hanrahan. The mysterious objects that they leave, the stones that they write on, are all part of their feelings about September 11th and about our country. Based on what had happened at Oklahoma City and the Vietnam War Memorial, these items being left were genuine tributes, and we wanted to save those tributes for future generations, for them to see how America reacted to this tragedy. This is a United Airlines flight attendant's uniform that was left at the memorial by a flight attendant who had co-workers and friends on the plane that crashed, and she left this lying on the ground as her tribute. It was quite an emotional response from people when they saw it. Taking care of the memorial is taking care of how America feels.
We have distilled water, and you use Q-tips and lightly brush over the area. It's a dirty job, but I elected to do it. I think the importance of it is that this is history. Me cleaning this is very rewarding. I feel very blessed that I am permitted to do this.
This whole thing really changed my whole life around. I lived here all my life, 55 years. Last year, we only had about 1 or 2 automobiles.
Now we get upwards of 100 a day.
On the weekends, on a nice sunny day, a couple thousand.
A great deal of people have told us how they felt compelled to come, that they were drawn to the site.
I think about how much I love the American people and how brave those people were who took over the plane.
They got up that morning, they got up and they didn't know they were going to have to do this that day. They didn't know that they were going to get on a plane and all of a sudden their whole world was going to be turned upside down.
Certainly I think it's been a horrific way to learn it, but it really teaches you a lot about our Constitution, our country, what we stand for.
You come here, see so many people here, and remembering the people on the flight, and it just shows them what a strong nation we are.
And it's nice that we can have an area like this, and there's a sense of peace here too. You can feel it today with the flags fluttering and the nice breeze. It's a nice country.
2 or 4 years, there'll be people asking, why is this memorial here? And someone will say, well, September 11th, and they'll tell the whole story.
A gentleman said to me one day when I was an ambassador down there, he said, how can you live at such a sad place? And I said to him, it's not sad. It's a beautiful place. This is hollow ground. I want people to remember this place as a beautiful place. And that life is for the living and we need to go on. Yes, and they will not be forgotten. We will make sure of that.